If you can't do it, then maybe you should let someone who can, like me.
Said to kill the bear barehanded so the people won't forget it. Getting money for our legal to drink. I care what a broke nigga think.
Just like the pack of Lewiz.
Look, everything I do so cold. I can do this, both eyes closed. Too short, I stay on my toes. About that guap boy, anything goes. Help the bear if we outside. Help the bear if we outside. Still tipping, baby, nothing changed. I'm still grinding over here, yeah. Still sliding through my own lane. Shorty, nothing funny over here. Dollars rain everywhere around me. Dream to get money. Made it through the storm, living sunny. Dreams came true, now we eating. I got more dreams to chase, gotta reach them. Trying to put a team together like the Hunger Games. Everybody grinding cause we all came from hunger pain.
What's up? How you doing? Obi-Wan Kenobi got a show, all right? He out there on TV screens, all right? He doing his thing. So, thanks for rolling through. NERD, SOUL, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all them places. Thank you for rolling through. We're glad to see you. Sunshiny faces. If you're here early on the live stream, thanks for rolling through. Hit that thumbs up. If you're here on the replay, glad to see your sunshiny face too. because we going to them sandy streets of Tatooine, but we ain't alone. No. Right over here, the cinematic sorcerer, Solar Grey. What's up?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you doing out there? How you doing? How you feeling? We're getting ready to get our Saving the Princess thing on. Good to know.
All right, so let's start with this. In the chat, you can hit us up, and on the replay, I'm gonna throw it to you, Mr. Grey. All right. First impressions when you came out of this. What were your first impressions?
My first impression was, I don't need to remember the prequels. You know how you turn it on and it's like, push this button to skip the recap. I'm like, recap? This is the first episode. Oh God. Oh, it hurts. But I see why they did it. I see why they did it. Now I'm gonna put this out there. I am not the biggest fan of the Star Wars prequels. Okay, I got caught in the nostalgia and they played me. I remember in '98 when I first heard about them. I'm like, oh man, we gonna do this, and then I'm like, what? Like what? That Patton Oswalt has a great routine about that. Called I Want to Go Back in Time and shoot George Lucas with a shotgun. And it summed up everything that I felt. And so looking back at it, I'm like, okay, I'm looking at this. I'm like, oh no, I forgot. This is still technically a prequel, but it's a sequel to the other prequels.
Yeah, because it's
and
after that.
I'm like, all right, but you know what? Disney Plus is already on. I pushed the button. I made the commitment to be here. I'm in. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Thank you.
And my second impression was, look, between half of the prequels, the Rich Tridge, Mandalorian, Boba Fett, I'm sick of sand. I don't even want to quote Hayden Christensen, but really,
it gets everywhere.
Can we get off of Tatooine, please? And I was pleasantly surprised. I'm like, okay, these guys must be making this show for me, because they keep going, hey, this is what I could do to you, but this is what we're doing. And I'm like, all right, fine. What I do gotta say is I was pleasantly surprised. As everybody knows, my favorite prequel to the Star Wars cinematic universe, not the comics, not the books, not the Zahn books, not the post-Zahn books, not the previous.
Well, the Zahn don't matter. That's out of there. The Zahn doesn't matter.
Well, except for Thrawn, because see, they brought those in because it's
the new Thrawn, not the old Thrawn.
Yeah, you see what I mean? It all,
because there's new Thrawn books, but
keep up with Doctor Who and Star Trek when it comes to like messed up timelines and continuity. Not to mention I'm a comic fan.
Pretty much anything that was made before Disney bought Lucasfilm doesn't matter. So all those like the Dark Horse comics don't matter. The novels, those don't matter. The video games, those don't matter. So like just throw all that out.
And see, my favorite of all that stuff is still Rogue One. Okay, it's still Rogue One.
All right. Well, that counts, so that's good.
Yeah. So, but looking at this, I'm like, okay, so what's going on? And I'm like, oh, okay, we're doing the that Key and Peele sketch that we're checking out Obi-Wan or Ben on Tatooine, and he got the job at the meat packing plant. I'm like, are they cutting cake? Oh no, that's meat. Okay, but this day everything.
That was some
like
thick meat. That meat was like salmon and like steak put together. That was some thick, sturdy meat.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
What is y'all? You know what? We'll get into that later. I just wanted to know your first impression. We'll get into that. But later. Just continue.
We're doing that Key and Peele sketch of like, okay, now we know what's going on with Ben. We're seeing his daily thing, like we did with Luke in the follow-up trilogy. And then plot ensues, and we got good old Obi-Wan going, I'm retired. No, but I need this. You don't understand. I'm retired.
They keep putting,
You know?
pulling them back in, man. All right, so my first impressions, actually seeing the prequels, I was like, you know what? This proves my point. I was like, the prequels are cool moments wrapped in bad movies. Like,
Fair.
because there's a lot of cool things about the prequels.
Yeah.
Sound design is one of them. The look of the ships, the creativity, loved it. And when you distill it down to like 3-4 minutes, you're like, oh, I want to be.
Yeah, you know what? I'm with you on that. My biggest problem with the prequels, and this kind of reflects on what I think of these two episodes, is one, the unnecessary crutch of so much CGI. So the way that it looked, it didn't feel right, you know. I mean, and second, the dialogue. God save me from the dialogue.
It was tough. It was tough. The
dialogue
was tough.
You know, and of course the third is the fight choreography. I was not a fan of the fight choreography. I'm like, you know, if Jedis were like this, it just makes the first fight between Vader and Obi-Wan look like a couple of old guys trying to hit each other with their canes. And I wasn't with that. You know, when you go back to Revenge of the Sith and you get it, you know,
you got to give them some props. Not only are they older, but also there's a lot of emotion, so they were taking their time. Remember, these are two masters. They ain't some young Thundercats just running up and down the court. You got to take your time. You know what I'm saying? So these are old man. You know what I'm saying? Because when you play in chess, when you young, you be like, but when you a master, you like, oh, I gotta choose my piece wisely. You know, I can't just be going all over it. I want to get checked. So you know, I'll let them have that. I'll let them slide. I'll give them that.
No,
but,
yeah. So
besides that, looks great. Deborah Chow is a godsend for Star Wars. And I know they've talked about Deborah Chow going to Marvel, but I'm like, nah, bro, y'all got help, all right? Y'all got help. We need help, all right? Deborah Chow, stay right where you at. Don't you go nowhere. You and Jon Favreau, Bryce Dallas Howard, Dave Filoni, y'all stay y'all butts where y'all at. Don't go no, because we need y'all, all right? We ain't got no help. See, Marvel, they doing fine. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you know, there might be ups and downs in a small way, but for the most part, they're on the gravy train right now. All right, we need to build up. We need to build back up. We're doing a good job. We had Bad Batch, cool. Mandalorian, cool. Boba Fett, cool. It was coolish, but it was still cool. And then now we got this. So I'm like, we need to build. We need to build back up. Y'all don't go nowhere. Keep what we got.
I will stick with you on that because, not gonna lie, I think they released The Mandalorian a little too soon because it is the best of what they've given us so far. As far as the Disney Plus shows go, Mandalorian is top notch. And I'm trying not to hold that as the gold standard. You know what I mean? It's that's real good. And if we go into everything else, looking for The Mandalorian, we're just going to be disappointed. But being said, I can't get with you on Chow entirely. I think she needs an actor director by her because when I was watching this, right? I was watching this and
are you about to nitpick Deborah Chow compared to the Star Wars stuff we've gotten? Remember episode 7, 8, and 9?
No.
I just want you to remember 7, 8, and 9.
Bro, get hop off the tangent. Let a brother speak. All right.
All right, go ahead.
Ewan McGregor always brings his A game. Always brings his A game. He's a vet. All right. Jimmy Smits, my boy. That's been my boy since LA Law. All right. I thought he was
snap.
Yeah.
Back to LA Law.
You know, I stuck with him through the Langoliers. I loved him on the Sons of Anarchy. Like, he does not bring a bad performance. I'm going, you know what? He's being a real cool dad right now, but you know, let her spill paint in the garage. There we go, you know. So that was not cool. But everybody else, except for one, we got one acting performance in this that blew me away, but everybody else was just so stilted. I could not take the way they delivered lines, the body language, and this antagonist on one hand makes me sad, on the other hand gets on my nerves. Okay, but we'll get to Reva. We'll get to Reva. But yeah, but the good side, I want more Uncle Owen. Yeah. I'm like, bruh.
Uncle Owen did his thing.
Where's this dude been? You know, so I hope we get a lot more of him. He brought it, you know, staring down a Sith Inquisitor, you know, talking crap on the Jedis because he knows Obi-Wan can hear him. Yeah. And then pop up with, I didn't do it for you. I ain't about you. I'm about him. I'm about him. I ain't about you.
Before we get into a full review, I did want to bring up another thing. I got two statements. Then we'll go. I got two statements. All right. All right. One. This whole show is happening because Leia don't know how to act. There's no discipline in the home. All right. See, there's no discipline in the home. See, the parents aren't aligned with how to discipline the child. You know what I'm saying? Mama doing one thing, daddy doing another. If she was, if her butt was where her butt was supposed to be, we wouldn't be watching Star Wars Taken right now. All right, that's one. Right? My second statement.
Are you saying that Obi-Wan has a certain set of actually he does.
He does have a very certain set of skills, specific skills or whatever. Also, since we can say that because Qui-Gon was in here, and when I saw him, all I could think was he was trying to hunt down black people. But that's a whole other thing. We're gonna slide that to the side. Then my next statement, and then I'll let you go because there's some good stuff. Hollywood, bring it in. Listen to me, writers and directors. Every child does not have to be annoyingly precocious. It's annoying, it's overrated, it's overdone, and you can't write a 10-year-old the way you write an adult woman. I've seen the same activity from adult women in shows where they're being like rescued or protected by Secret Service or whatever. The same activity. This is a 10-year-old child. Let children be children. Stop trying to adultify children. But I know Hollywood got a problem with kids anyway. But that's a whole other thing. Stop adultifying children. She's 10. Let her be 10. She's not walking around like she's 35. Now, I do know there are kids that are wise beyond their years and they're older, but every child in this situation is hyper similar. It almost made me turn off the show. Like, seriously. It was annoying. I'm tired of it.
Can I say something on that?
Go ahead. I'm done. I ain't even gonna argue no point or nothing. I'm gonna just let it go. There it is.
On that tip, one, I'm gonna come at it from the other angle. When it comes to the damsel in distress trope, how about stop infantilizing women? You know, that's one of the things that I've seen all the time. It's like, oh, I'm in danger, so I'm gonna turn into a child. It's like they need to flip it. However, as far as Leia being precocious and fun, thank you. Oh my God, I was so tired of her. It's like, I don't know if I can try. And I'm like, you know what? I just want her to cry. I want the kid to cry. Okay. You know how I was talking about raising your standards too high and holding things to a gold standard and stuff like that? Mm-hmm. I got spoiled with Avatar: The Last Airbender and Arcane. You know, kids in crisis are still kids. They are still children. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I like the cinematic language of her using the Force to read people. And I'm like, okay, all right, I can see that in politics. That's actually kind of cool. Just that whole, you know what? I'm gonna go up one side of you, down one other, and I'm gonna tell you about yourself because I'm 10. You know, I'm like, okay,
'Cause I'm
all right,
10.
I can see that. You know, where she's like, look, I'm precocious. Look at me. And then, oh, look, I'm gonna pick mama's pocket to get me that whole thing. Now, I don't know how they do it on Alderaan.
But I mean, also it's white parents. Well, no, it's not all white parents. It's one white parent and then like a dad that's like, I don't really want to get into this.
I call that the middle class because, you know, where I came from, that'd be 5 across the eyes. Be like, I'm sorry, mommy, I'm never doing that again. If I feel you taking that thing, you know what's gonna happen, right? Oh yeah, my bad. And
I was like, y'all just go, so y'all just like just running all over the place. And then,
but you know what?
Look, imagine the dad from Fences when she got choking. Denzel would have been like,
not fair.
Didn't I tell you not to go nowhere? Well, then your butt is kidnapped then.
No,
all right,
okay.
then you kidnapped. That's too bad.
That's not fair. All right, that right there is not. That's the other extreme.
I just say, son, be parents, man. Like, tell the girl she ain't supposed to be running everywhere. No. He gonna try to tell her a story.
Yeah. However, she won't be pulling that on Uncle Phil.
Nah. She
wouldn't be pulling that on Uncle Phil. You know, that's just what I'm saying right there. It's so yeah, the precocious kid and all that stuff. But I will have to say, I thought it was very, very wise of the writers to go, we're getting an Obi-Wan series. Let's check in with what Obi-Wan was doing after the Clone Wars, but before A New Hope. Oh man, he's looking in on Luke, but Luke didn't know him in A New Hope. So what adventures are we gonna send him on? There is another.
There is another.
You know. So all right, cool. We gonna get that going. Yeah, we gonna get that going, and that was all good. It was actually funny. Like, I knew this show was meant to be fun as soon as I saw who kidnapped her. I'm like, Flea?
Man, shouts to Flea. So, all right, with that said, let's go on and get into the real review, y'all. You know, this is the real review. We're gonna get into the real review. We've been playing around till now. We're in the real review. I'm gonna start off with this. Shouts out to Flea. All right, boom. Hey, I see you over there. Just acting. What?
Well, saying lines.
Oh,
look.
You know what? Right. Flea deserves
real
more
talk. He is one of the top 5 bass players in all of rock and roll. All right, that is what in all of rock and roll, not soul, not jazz, not R&B, but rock and roll. He's top 5. All right. As a bass player myself, I have spent hundreds of man hours learning what he does. That's his lane. Acting ain't it. All right. Look, I don't care if it's Chicken Run, Back to the Future 2, or this. It's one of those, oh wow, it's Flea. And that's all he's good for. And in Chow's defense, she knew that. She really knew that. That's why he got maybe 4 minutes of screen time in the whole episode. And I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with that.
Okay. You know.
So he's out there getting his check. And I'm cool with him getting his check.
Respect. Shouts to Jenna James says, gotta love how the Inquisitors essentially confirmed Vader told them to go for the hands. If people resisted and Reva specifically cuts off a woman's right arm, the same that Anakin lost, it really gives you a feeling that he was super salty about losing it from Dooku. And you'd think cutting off both of Dooku's hands would make him feel better, but I guess losing nearly all his limbs really pissed him off again to where he thought, screw it, just cut off everybody's hands. Yo.
You know? Yeah. Now, Reva, I don't know what was going on with her. I know there's a good actress in there somewhere, but it didn't come on the screen for me. I'm sorry.
Here's what annoyed me about, all right.
Fact that scenery isn't made of gum.
I like a character like Reva. Don't mind her. Here's the thing. Every villain does not need some kind of relatable backstory. Oh, you were downtrodden, and this is no. Just let them be evil. People can be bad because they like being bad. Remember, some men just like to watch the world burn. When he says men, he means men as a man.
That was Warner Brothers. That was Warner that said that.
I know, but what I'm saying is, when in that statement, it means men, man as in mankind, not just like women aren't allowed to be bad. You know what I'm saying? Let her just be bad. She don't have to be like, oh, she came up tough, so this is why she mean. No, let her just be evil, man. That would make her character doper. Like, just let her be evil. Now we got to be like, oh, man, what happened back in the day? She was from the gutter. No, just let her be evil, man. It's okay. She can be evil, and then she can enjoy the evility, all right, in her life.
See, the thing that got me on that, I don't mind that she's I literally, I didn't mind the writing. I didn't even mind the "we found you in the gutter." It's an old trope. I get it.
Yeah, it's an old trope. That's why it's like, let's do some new stuff.
There is no new stuff,
She got
bro.
cool armor. She got the cape. She got the red blades, as they call it. The people that don't know about Sith in the comics, they just call them red blades. She got the red blade, the cape, the armor. She got the hair braided. She's looking cool. I don't need a backstory. Just she's evil. Just let her be evil.
Yeah. No, bro, I'm sorry, man.
We didn't need the Emperor's backstory in the original trilogy. We just knew he was bad.
Again, I think it wouldn't stick in your craw so much if it were better performed. Okay. Because I'm out of the video game, but not really out of the video game, trying to deliver his lines halfway androidish, another halfway a bad impression of Palpatine. I'm just kind of going, all right, so we got the yeller, the screamer, and the robotic one. I can deal with that, but do it better. Like the acting performances really looked phoned in, especially against Ewan McGregor. You know, and I'm not saying.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that, because Ewan McGregor. In his defense, Ewan McGregor has been this character 4 times
20
now,
years,
maybe 5. So he's been in for 20 years. So he's
been working on this character for 20 years, but it's not just that. He kind of
walks into it.
It was soap opera acting, bro. It was soap. I was expecting Sith on Telemundo.
Oh,
you know,
man. We got all right. Third Sister's Reva. What is the guy's name? The one that you said is robotic. I'm trying to remember.
I didn't even bother learning his name because, you know, I don't mind the crap talking and the "we found you in the middle of nowhere." They're Sith. They're evil. That is a classic tactic of. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna demoralize you to show you your plays, you know. And the thing is, when she had her moment with good old con man, where it was like, I'm not gonna tell you anything. You don't have to. I'm like, where's that? Where is that? That is how she should be playing this character all the way across. Okay. But she's like a soap opera version of Leslie Jones when she's delivering half of her lines.
Okay, now hold up. I'm not going to go that far. Come on now. Come on.
Oh, really?
Not a soap opera version of Leslie Jones?
Cut. Get out of my friend Ghost. You know, I mean, seriously.
No.
I'm sorry.
First,
and like I said,
we don't bring that movie up now. We have a new movie, Afterlife. It's repaired all the hurt and harm and danger. Not worrying about that. We got a new movie, and they're making another movie now. So we're not worrying about that. Okay, everything's fine.
I'm sorry, but given the actors that they have that have played tragic and angry and over the top, from Ray Park with his no line having butt, to Timothy Olyphant, to Ewan McGregor, to Liam Neeson, to Sam Jackson. You know, we have seen anger across the spectrum, but this director with this actress, it's just a bad combination because they can't do explosive. There wasn't enough seething. You know, there wasn't enough seething. Had she been like, take that scene where she was cutting off hands, right? While Mr. definitely played by Asian actor with a mushroom helmet, was trying to talk to the crowd.
Now hold up. In the comics, he's kind of dope though. In the comics, he's actually kind of dope. When I saw him, I was like, oh snap! But they didn't let him get busy.
Yeah,
I was like,
again, we went through this with the Book of Boba Fett. I don't read the comics. I'm just looking at this as what I see on film, as though it's my first time.
Yeah.
And as he's trying to be reasonable and talk about bounties, if they had had 2 or 3 shots of her pacing, of her fidgeting, of the anger boiling up and her seething before she starts, you know, because she came in with a strong start when they were in the bar and Mr. Powderhead was like,
you mean the Grand Inquisitor?
Yes, the Grand Inquisitor
was
like,
Powderhead. Come on now.
You know,
I'm sorry. Some credit.
You know, it was you know, when he was like, the secret to hunting Jedis are patient. Is patience. And I'm like, all right, yeah. Give me some Palpatine. Give me some Snoke. Give me that whole, I'm inside your head and I already know my dude is here. So I'm gonna just intimidate. And then when she just picked up the knife and threw it at the bartender, I'm like, okay, all right, I can see her. You know, give me a little 10-10 action from the Crow, you know. But every scene after that is just yelling, screaming, and mugging at the camera like she was a Wayans family member. And I'm just like, come on, you can do better than this.
I ain't gonna do it like that. Now, I did want to touch on this. Keith and Jones says something interesting. Keith and Jones says Star Wars is for kids, adults overanalyze. Now, okay, let's go with you for a second. Let's say Star Wars is made for kids, right? Made for kids. Well,
I know my kid is really interested in negotiating trade routes with the Trade Federation.
I was about to. Also, what kids got a job to go buy a ticket to go see a movie? Like,
now I can't get with that one.
Star Wars is, well, who's okay? So let's say it's for kids, right? How are kids going to receive it without adults? Now, I don't mind saying, I know Star Wars is definitely accessible to kids to a certain degree. But I don't think like Star Wars is just not for adults. Because if that wasn't the case, they wouldn't have spent 3 movies screwing up trying to make all these adults happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Star Wars is one of those kind of like general audience, kind of all age kind of things.
Nah, bro. Star Wars.
I mean, outside of like toddlers.
No,
you know
Star Wars was strictly for kids in 1977.
I wouldn't even say
now in
that.
2022, it's for those same kids, those exact same kids that in 1983 were like.
I'd even disagree then.
Huh?
I'd even disagree then. I don't think it was for kids then. I think it was accessible. I think it was accessible.
It was a space fairy tale for little boys. And honestly,
when we say little, how little are we talking?
We're talking
in my mind,
like 8 or 9.
Okay,
Yeah,
we're talking 8 or 9. Because when I say little, I'm thinking like 4 or 5, and I'm like, no. So okay, let's
it's accessible to
little.
4 or 5, but 1977, it came out with the intention on the majority of little boys that came out to see that movie wanting to be like Luke Skywalker, flying the jet, and somebody with a laser sword going woo, woo, woo. And in 2022, it's for those same little boys. Maybe their children, but primarily for them. And
now, this is why I disagree. If Fox, Disney, whoever thought that the only money we get, the only interest we would get would be from little boys or young boys, 9 to 10, they would not have spent $4 billion on it. They knew back then there was an adult audience for it, and other space fair that was kind of coming up at the time, and they know it's here now.
Well, they didn't spend $4 billion back in 76 when they were originally made.
I'm talking about back then when they spent any money at all.
No, they spent just enough. It was
but they wouldn't have spent any if they thought it was only for those kids. They had to know
it-
that there was going to
primarily.
be some interest outside on some adults.
Well, remember, they didn't think that there was going to be interest, but they were like, you know what? We're going to put this together. We're going to put it out there, see what sticks, because it was the 70s and that's how they did.
He said it was
But-
the 70s. That's how they did.
It's true. Check out any streaming service and look for movies from the 1970s, and you're going, they spent money on that?
Now, I will say the story that I read in an article, I can't remember where from, but basically Ralph McQuarrie's art is what got it sold. Because when he tried to pitch it, won't nobody feel it. And
Nobody
that art,
liked
when you look at that artwork is not child accessible in most cases. So that's why in most cases that art is not made for kids. That art didn't come out looking like Calvin and Hobbes or anything like that. Now, I will say I think it's accessible, but to make this seem like this is something like just for kids, like I wouldn't expect to turn on like Noggin or PBS Kids or like Nick Jr. and see Star Wars because but now that you're raising the age, 9 to 10, I can get it. But I'd still say, I think they're very aware that adults are into this. And I think that they're very aware that adults need to buy these things and be interested as well.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing.
Well, no, I'm talking about Keithan's.
Oh yeah, no, Keith. Yeah, sorry, man. Keith, and you're Star Wars is not for kids. It's for the kids that love the original trilogy, and for the kids the kids that like the original trilogy to take their kids. I mean, that is what it is.
The kids.
Yeah, I'm serious, because if you look at most of the people who are the loudest of Star Wars fans, they are all 45 to 51, which means they were 5 or 6 in 77. So they're taking their kids, they're taking their grandkids, they're doing that whole thing. Not to say that they were bad movies, because they were all right.
Speaking of kids, shouts to Keithan, because he says it's for kids. Chasen goes on and says, don't forget merchandising, of course, for kids. The Haja Estrie action figure is gonna need magnets.
The magnets.
Like, it was funny when he showed up, because when I saw him, I was like, swindler. I was like, because see, in the trailer, you didn't know. In the trailer, it was like, oh, snap, oh, and then when you're
especially since we got dollar store Jedi at the beginning when Obi-Wan was like, you're making a mistake. My name is Ben. I don't know who you talking to.
I don't know you. Well,
no, you don't.
We got a little tie-in because I had to go back and watch to make sure from Rebels, but I think that group of kids, Kanan Jarrus was one of those kids. I think. I'm not exactly sure, but from Kanan Jarrus from Rebels, but it's hard. I don't know if I could call them dollar store Jedi, because I mean, all right, when Order 66 happened, right? There has to be tons of Jedi that were like 10% trained, 5% trained, 30% trained. And I don't know. They can see these, atrocities and things happening. They want to be like their hero. And unfortunately, that kid met his hero. Because I'm pretty sure in his mind, if I find Obi-Wan, then we're saved. Man, if I could just find Obi-Wan, it's over. We're going to fix everything. And he found Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan was like, get out of here. Obi-Wan was like, get out of here. He's like, I don't got nothing for you. I'm not going to help you. I'm not even Obi-Wan. I don't even know what you talking about. So it's kind of sad if you look on his end, because he was like, well, I'm a Jedi, because that's all he knew. So he's like, because of course they take them when they're kids. They're like, hey, the parents like, hey, my kid got force powers, and they call the Jedi or something. All right, put him in the Jedi Academy. I don't know how it happens. Anyway,
at least Obi-Wan didn't tell him to hang in there, But
I'll allow it.
But what I will give to this, to these 2 episodes, it was wonderful to not see Obi-Wan turn his lightsaber on. I liked that a lot. Like, it was enough that he had it. And then when people saw it, they're like, oh man, no. What help can I give you? What, you need some money? You need some soup? You want a little soup? You know? And I thought that was cool. But I wasn't really very happy with the climax of the second episode. The parkour scene.
All right, the parkour scene was, you know, it was a little extra, but she had to get her energy out. You know what I'm saying? She had to hype herself up. It's kind of like
I don't mind that it was there. Again, most of my problems with this show so far is in execution, not in inclusion. Okay, because it had all the beats, it had all the tropes, you had everything that you needed. All right, and it was really good to see Alderaan. What was it when
Silver City out there?
When the king or when the senator was like, and people are going to look to you to lead, and you're going to be great for this planet one day. And I just had to laugh out loud. I'm like,
no, you won't.
You're going to be great for the galaxy, but yeah, Alderaan's going to be going to, you know what? You're a little too trusting, little girl. But yeah. But I didn't mind all of that stuff. The things I did like, take away the precociousness, and you had a few moments of kid. Okay, you had a few moments of kid. And like I said, it's just the execution of this and the actor direction really, really needs to step up its game for me. The cinematography and color correction could have used a little bit in that climax scene. With the parkour scene, I think it needed to be a little better choreographed, because it was good that we saw some parkour, but it was parkour plus wire work, and it's like pick a lane.
Well, she has force power, so she's gonna get like a little extra. You know,
I'm
like
not
parkour plus.
I'm not saying that it doesn't make sense. I'm saying it didn't look great.
Okay.
I'm saying I shouldn't be able to tell that it's wire work, you know, and it's like, I get what they're trying to do, but they could do it like quick cuts would have been better on this if that's the way that they were going to be going.
Okay.
And I liked the inclusion of the scene of her sitting on the rooftop. I liked her tactics. I thought that was really, really good. You know, I'm like, yeah, this is good villainy. Like, her superiors in the Inquisitor, in the Sith Inquisitor crew are like, you will do what I will. And she's like, no, I'm gonna use this planet to get what I want. All right, cool. I'm doing that. Now I'm gonna wait. Now I'm gonna watch, because there's enough bounty hunt. We are in the Outer Rim, so people here are wanting money. Cash rules everything around that.
They want that cheese.
So,
speaking of the Grand Inquisitor, Zias Belu says, the Grand Inquisitor was way more competent than they made him out to be. He used to guard the Jedi Temple. If anyone would have known how a Jedi works, it would have been him. My question is this. Is this the same? This isn't the same Grand Inquisitor from Rebels, is it? I don't believe it is.
I hope not.
Because this is way
Rebels
before.
Was cool.
This is this is supposed to be.
Well, it's only 10 years after. It's only 10 years.
But this is supposed to be like 4 or 5 years before Rebels. I'm trying to remember. Somebody hit me with the timeline of when Rebels starts. Because I think this is before Rebels. Because he's not old enough. He's not as old as he was in Rebels to fight Darth Maul in that last fight they had. So this, at least, Grand Inquisitor died in the first season of Rebels. So maybe this is, no, because when they meet Leia in like season 3, she's already a senator. Yeah. So this is way before Rebels. So maybe this is. I don't think it's the same. I don't think this is the same in Grand Inquisitor. This is probably a different dude that he Grand Inquisitor, but that's just because they ain't got nobody like signed up for the application yet.
One thing that we definitely know about Darth Vader is he is quick to promote and demote.
Yeah, true that. He would demote you. Oh, you're going to get demoted, all right.
Apology accepted.
Demoted to the afterlife.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
So, all right.
You don't just
Nerdy
get
Brew
busted
says
down,
Rebels,
you get put underground, you know?
Nerdy Brew says Rebels is 6 years before A New Hope, which means that we're still like 6 years out from that. Which would make sense because when we meet Leia, she's definitely a teenager. So she's 10
Luke
now.
is specifically 17.
Yeah, he's specifically
17.
Okay.
And
so that means we're like 9-ish years, depending on their birthday. So we're like 9-ish years. So okay. Yeah, it's definitely not because we know it's not the same Grand Inquisitor because that's one moment I did like. She was like, you know what? I'm tired of your mouth.
And honestly, that's Sith. You know,
yes,
like I said,
that's what I need from her. Just
again,
be evil. I don't need you to worry about somebody talking about the gutter. I don't care. No, just be evil.
Like I said, the script beats were fine. But the dialogue needed about 2 more passes over with an editor, and the line delivery, those actors need to do better. And Disney's got enough money to make sure that there is an acting coach on set to be like, nah, you need to do better. I need to see this.
Unless they're, you know, like time crunches. But it's like you set your own schedule. Like the time is what you want it to be. You know what
no
I'm
excuses. Like, this is Disney. This is the biggest dog in the park. Okay. They set their own schedule. They got all the money. They have money enough to rival Elon Musk. Okay. So when it comes down to it, there's no excuse for shoddy parts of their performances.
And speaking of that, Antoine Allen says unenthused. Unenthused.
I mean,
I'll say this. I was liking the first episode. I really was. I was like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Showing me a man. It's like, look, I'm out the game. All I'm going to do, I'm just a silent sentry.
I'm retired.
I'm just here to watch this kid, make sure he's all right. And when he gets old enough, I'm gonna train him, and we'll have an opportunity to maybe take back the galaxy and fix everything. So I'm just gonna bide my time. And then the second episode was cool, but Leia was doing the most, and it's every kid doesn't have to be written the exact same way. And written just like, because I've seen so many movies and shows where someone is trying to protect, like, I don't know, maybe the secretary or the secretary of defense or something. And whatever woman that is, that's a grown woman, is acting the same way that Leia is. So I was annoyed by that.
I was super annoyed by Leia. As I was super annoyed at Hostage Leia. I did not mind Princess Leia on Alderaan. I thought,
Hostage Leia was a big issue because it's like, bruh, like, I think if she's so intuitive, then she knows that she's in real danger, and she knows that this dude is like, I don't know this dude, but he ain't trying to hurt nobody. You know what I'm saying? He don't want to hurt nobody. But anyway, still. But we're not going to do any more references to the guy because I know. But still.
And
it annoyed me. I was like, I even said out loud, I'm watching this, I said out loud, shut up so we can go. Like I said that out loud. Like I was just like, shut up so we can go. And I've said that to adult characters where it's like, Secretary of Defense, we got to go here. Well, I don't care. I'm going to do this. Yo, so you see bullets and bombs, right? But you don't care. You're going to make sure we go over there where all the bullets is at, just so you can get, I don't know, to feel your piece of pride and force me to protect you through that mess, right?
Yeah. I'm very much with that.
It was basically the same thing.
And since I'm an
Antoine
X-Men
Allen
fan,
said, I'm still tripping. Reva already knows Vader is Anakin. True that. I was about to
go there
later, but true that. Yeah. I'm like, hold up, I thought that was a secret.
Yeah, no, I was absolutely gonna go there because this is still, it's only been 10 years. Rev is under it. But the way that it was leveraged in that way was such a good callback to Return of the Jedi, where you got the Jedi hiding and the Sith going, I'm gonna just keep talking crap until you have an emotional reaction, then I'm gonna ping you. Yeah. Oh no, he's very much alive. You thought he was dead. No, bruh. He's alive.
She said Lord Vader, and that dude was like, oh, what?
Like, what? Yeah. You know.
She was like, oh no, he alive, boo.
Mm-hmm.
He alive. You don't worry about that.
And again,
he gonna get you. No.
I'm very happy to see Obi-Wan using blasters instead of his lightsaber. I was very happy with the fact that the lightsaber was only shown, it was not lit. And yeah, I really like when Reva was like, dude, just shut your mouth now. Shut your mouth. Yo, Vader, hi. We gonna need another Grand Inquisitor. Yeah.
We need another one.
Yeah, but the truth is, all of this
I see you, Chase. I see you.
Yeah. I mean, it really is. I see the seeds of something amazing, and if this was just a quickly thrown together pilot to show the executives, look, we can do something now, give us money and get off our backs.
Give us money.
I'll go with that. So I'm willing to give this 4 episodes, just like I would Star Trek. All right, because that beginning, it's kind of like when it comes to a new property or focusing on a new character, you got to bring your A game up front. But Obi-Wan is time tested, so it's like. So it's like we're doing a show about Obi-Wan. Ooh, all right. Well, let's see what you got. All right, that's good enough. Now get it on there. I'm like, okay, I can see that being the case. And hopefully over the rest of the season, they'll flesh out the characters, get the acting performances down, get their color grading right. So that
I wasn't mad at the colors, Disney. I wasn't mad at the color. Colors was cool with me. I'm just glad we ain't around the same.
My thing is, it looked too much like the prequels, and the prequels were too clean. It was like, these are supposed to be...
Was it Dayu or Dio? Dayu? You thought that was clean?
Yeah, it did. It looked... Everything when you do CGI looks new, regardless of how much dirt they try and put on it. Especially back in the early 2000s. And again, we know they can do it. We see it with The Mandalorian. Like, the only parts of it that looked right were the parts on Tatooine, which means they just used some of the old stuff from The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett. But when they went to the Traitor Planet, that looked like a recycled set from the Guardians of the Galaxy, and it might have been.
You wrong. See,
watch it again.
Wow, you a cold piece, boy.
Watch it again.
It's rough
but the thing is, with Guardians of the Galaxy, it looked like a set, and I can deal with it looking like a set, but I can't deal with it looking like a set with CGI augmentation. Disney is better than that. All
right, I'll give you that. Disney is better, So yeah, the Keith and Jones, Antoine Allen said, yeah, I figured she was the one in the class that ran and is really good at mind probing and kept that close to her vest. Keith and Jones says the ones that escaped know Anakin and Obi-Wan. Yeah, I know they know, but the general story that I thought went out was that Anakin died. You know what I'm saying? So if they weren't there, I figured that they'd just be like, oh yeah, he dead, and there's some dude named Vader out now. You know what I'm saying? Or unless it was just like, bruh, I know you ain't fooling nobody.
No, it's the old superhero problem. All right. Rev was the kid. Rev was the kid. We saw her running, doing all that stuff. But Obi-Wan and Vader were essentially, or Obi-Wan and Anakin were the pride of the Jedi Academy. You only had 4 names in the whole prequel. All right. You had Anakin, Obi-Wan, Mace, and Qui-Gon. And then by the time Order 66 was out there, it was all Obi-Wan and Anakin. Everybody, Obi-Wan and Anakin. That was like the Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. Just Obi-Wan and Anakin the whole time. And then
those are the only
Anakin
people
goes
that seem
away.
to be doing missions. Even during the Clone Wars, it seemed like, I mean, there were other people out there, but I mean, outside of maybe Ahsoka, I mean, besides that, there wasn't anyone like in the field like doing.
Exactly.
I mean, there were, but we never focused on it.
And by the time that Order 66 was put down, Ahsoka was already disgraced and gone. Yeah. But then Anakin, disgraced, exonerated, but still then gone. Yeah. But Anakin goes out on Mustafar, and then out of nowhere, the Emperor has this super powerful Sith. Like everybody that was there was like, "Nah, we know who you are, bro.
That's Anakin, dog.
We know who you are." Because if you weren't there before, if you were there before, why wasn't you fighting Obi-Wan and Anakin? I know where Obi-Wan is. He gone. So that makes sense. That made. Yeah, I know. All right. Jeremy Maynard was like, Yoda. I'm like, okay, yeah, forgot about Yoda.
Well, I mean, I thought you didn't mention Yoda because Yoda wasn't really going out on missions like that. So
no, I didn't mention Yoda because there is no way that somebody could look at Vader and say Yoda.
Yo, man, is that Yoda in a suit? Like,
but makeup reading I am,
pull those levers. Shouts out to Yoda. Shouts out to baby Grogu. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to all y'all.
So it's like Anakin dies, and then a week and a half later, Vader pops up on the planet that Anakin dies and looks all messed up in a suit of armor. Come on.
Yeah. It ain't take that.
If Zendaya can figure out that Peter Parker is Spider-Man on a freaking Euro trip, then everybody else.
People that actually have force powers could be like, you really do feel a lot like Anakin.
Exactly. So yeah, that's what I'm saying on that. So it wasn't cool, but I do like that Obi-Wan didn't know, and Revel was like, hey, guess what? Poke. Your biggest
Obi-Wan
failure.
learned a hard lesson. Never leave anyone for dead. Just finish the job. I mean, I understand why he couldn't. Yeah, I understand why he couldn't, because he's like, you're my brother. You know what I'm saying? You were supposed to stop the Sith, man. You were my brother, dog. But sometimes you just gotta sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man.
So I think the show is going to some sort of weird pre-New Hope confrontation between Obi-Wan and Vader.
Yeah. Which I'm not against, because when we meet them, they're all like, it's been a long time. So, I mean, if they meet now, that still gives them
7 years.
7-ish years to still be like, hey, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm down with it. And Antoine Allen does bring up, yes, there was a TV show George Lucas was working on. It was supposed to be on HBO. And the sale of Disney happened, and I guess that show just got kind of scrapped. But Antoine Allen says he was developing just before he sold to Disney, showed city scenes that looked like Dayu or whatever place they were trying to escape. So yeah. So maybe they kind of use, because I mean, of course, when he sold Lucasfilm, they got all of that, all of that concept art, all of that. So, who knows? They were like, oh yeah, this is a cool idea. We'll take a little piece of this and just, mix it in with something else. And
I mean, I can see all that. And this is a really, really big one. I'm seeing it specifically because of Uncle Owen. Because in A New Hope, there was definitely a, I want to be a pilot like my father. And Owen looked at Veru like, you better get your boy. And, original like 77 Obi-Wan was like your Vader is the one that killed your father. So he knew.
Yeah.
So how'd he find out? All that other stuff. I'm like, okay, we're gonna answer that question. And how we came up with the lie to tell Luke a little bit later on. So I'm okay with that. I just really hope that the performances get better, because if it wasn't Ewan McGregor playing Obi-Wan, I could let it go if it was like a less seasoned actor. But what we got is Ewan McGregor, and then they cut to a scene with somebody not as good, and then back to Ewan McGregor, and then not as good, you know? So I'm like, y'all got to step it up, yo.
All right, well, Jeremy Maynard breaks something up. I want to talk about this real quick. A little tangent question. Says, I didn't hear the full question, but I'm surprised there's never been a small character piloting a larger mech body in the universe. And that kind of brings me to, remember the end of Boba Fett where they had the big robot,
the Rancor,
and then they had the Rancor fight it. Well, imagine this: we're in a world where people are getting squeezed by the Empire, right? And they have the big AT-AT walkers, right? They got the AT-AT, the AT-ST, and I think there's another one. So anyway, wouldn't it be cool if maybe some dude was like, let me take this tractor and this forklift and let me work out something to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it would be kind of cool to see like this kind of hodgepodge mech kind of thing being made from people that were kind of essentially tired of, you know, their own rebellion, basically. Because I mean, there's rebellions in Rebels. Because in Rebels, we see like pockets of rebellions all over the place. And Fulcrum says, well, there's different cells, so they don't know who's doing it or whatever. Well, what if some people are like, hey, yo, I'm a really good engineer. I got skills. There's this, you know, there's this scrap yard and some old forklifts and some old tractors and some old, you know what I'm saying, and some, you know, old tank parts, and that could be sweet. It could be. I mean, I don't know if they ever going to do it.
Could be, but this show was done filming before Russia invaded Ukraine. You know.
Oh man.
So yeah. But yeah, like I said, now I'm hopeful for this show, and I'm more into it than I was into Boba Fett. So of course I'm gonna see this out. All right. You know, I'm not super jazzed. I'm not one of those people that's like, if it's Star Wars, I'm gonna love it. I'm not that guy. But I'm not even that way with Star Trek or Doctor Who. I was trying to figure out what I was like that with. And my girlfriend was like, the Dresden Files? I'm like, no, they just haven't let me down yet.
Not the Dresden Files.
What? I read a lot. Anyway, but this show has got some interesting hurdles to accomplish. Like, I might be a little spoiled because I'm in the middle of watching another prequel show in Better Call Saul, and prequels, hey man, it's a good show, and prequels still have the problem of how do you raise the emotional stakes for the main character when you know they're going to live through it. There's always this, all right, they got plot armor, but if you've already seen them in something that's set in the future, then what threats can you throw at them? You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So we know that at the end of all this, he gonna end up back on Tatooine smelling bad. And speaking of smelling bad on Tatooine, I gotta give it up to that Jawa.
Yo, no, we're not gonna give it up to that Jawa. Look, I'm gonna keep it real with you. You can't be stealing my stuff and selling it back to me. That's a dangerous game. Y'all gonna mess around and get killed out in these streets, all right? You want like, dude, that's mine. Like, you guys, yo, that's mine. Give it back. Then you gonna say cleaning costs extra. Look, don't get hurt. All right.
Now, honestly, that's Obi-Wan knowing that he's over a barrel, because he knows he could hurt that kid. It's like, oh yeah. Well, yeah, I do need some parts because, you know, my moisture machine is missing its motherboard. Oh well, you're in luck, bruh. Seriously, and it's like, what you gonna do? You gonna take me out and draw attention to yourself?
Also, shouts to the Jawas when they saw the ship come over. You saw how they wrapped up. There was an act. It's kind of like when in New York on 142nd Street when cops come through there. All right, let's get these purses off the street. Come on, let's wrap up.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the brothers on Central with a dice game. As soon as they hear sirens coming close,
all right, they're like, nah,
right,
game's over. Look, like, hey, all money stays. Look.
Mm-hmm. Yo, if you didn't buy the mixtape now, you got to wait till tomorrow. I'm out.
They wrapped up. They wrapped up their purses and watches real quick. Because it's like, yo, they know they selling, they selling goods, but the Empire don't care, or maybe they do. I don't know. They just knew we out. All right, so another quick thing. I know people got to eat. I understand people you need nutrients. What is the health rating of that meat packing plant that's just open air in the desert, man? It's just dust flying everywhere.
It is L. It's got an L rating, not A, B, C, or D. No, L.
No covers. They just out there. Ain't nobody wearing gloves. They just cutting. Ain't no hair nets. No nothing. Y'all just. I was like, okay, well, all right. I guess it's your thing.
Hey, that's why we got the Tatooine sausage. What's it made of? Meat.
See, and that crate dragon they were harvesting looked like a giant sand shark. Yeah, man. I'm just talking about how are you preserving this? Where are your Ziploc bags or your just? It was just all just not good. Like I was just looking at that. It's almost like when you go somewhere to get some food. Like say you go, I don't know, sandwich shop or Chipotle or something, and you look and you see somebody like not washing their hands, and then they hit one of these joints, and then they go back to making your shit. You be like, ah.
Hey, remember what our boy Hannibal said. Tatooine sucks.
Yeah, Tatooine does suck. Tatooine it's not great. You get a staph infection. Jeremy said salt. Yeah. Well, you know what? I guess they could, cure it with salt, I guess,
Yeah. And maybe. I got to give it out to Keith and Jones because as much as we are talking about how much we hate the precociousness of that little girl, the actress who played her is great.
Yeah, she's only doing what she's told to do. Like, she's fine. It's the writers that are not fine.
And you know what? Maybe
what should we do? Should we try to make a kid? Nah, let's just do what we's gonna do with everybody else. Oh, okay, cool.
And maybe that was the thing because she's really good, but the director had to direct a child. And maybe she took all the director's actor energy, where it's like, I got to work out these shots. I got to work out the editing. I got to make sure the costumes are out. Now I got to wrangle this little kid, make sure she knows her lines and do as many takes as I can within the limited time I have to use kids. Now I got to direct the adults. All right, fine. You know what? I'm tired.
Y'all adults, y'all be all right.
Yeah.
Also,
so
if my kid tells you to put on her clothes because she going to run away and you think I'm going to be amused, do you see me every day? Do you think I'd be amused? Do you? Now, the little kid, I'll let the little kid slide, but you had 3 adults up in there tying ribbons and brushing hair and all kinds of stuff, putting on slippers. All right. Do you think y'all be amused?
All right. So here's the big thing, though.
4 people just got fired today. All right.
No, we don't know that much about Lady Organa because I can tell you, look, watch Downton Abbey. All right. It's very much one of those. All right. I got to go dress up this little kid. Oh, I'm dressing up her today. All right. Yeah, whatever. What? Well, look, if we're dressing the wrong kid, we're fired. If we say no, we could be fired too. So let's just do this. I mean, you got a day job. How many times do you get conflicting orders from supervisors and project managers?
But one is the literal adult of the other one. The one is the guardian of the other one. I know she's a princess, but she's also 10. If she's like, hey, why don't you just dress up this kid so I can go run out? Oh, let me run around the queen real quick. Well, I'm the princess. Yes, you are the princess, but you're not
the real question is who do they get orders from? That's the whole thing. If the mom said dress her up, or if she said dress her up. Because if the mom said dress her up,
because they have an event coming. They had the people coming. She had to do the waving and all that, and the cousin. So I'm sure the mom was like, tomorrow, dress her in the purple thing with the little slippers. And it was like, all right.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It could be tomorrow we got a thing coming. So make sure she's ready. But if she comes in saying, oh, my mom changed her mind, blah, 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 do this, or it'll be funny, that kind of thing, whatever.
Oh, it'll be funny for you. I'll be fired.
Hey, you know what? I'm trying to think of a reason that those servants wouldn't have been like, you are out of your mind, little girl. Just trying.
I would just be like, I'll have to check with the queen. Hold on just a moment.
Yeah,
Queen,
exactly.
Do you think it would be fun for her to run around in the woods while we dress up another kid to trick you? No, I don't think so. Well, we gotta dress you. Sorry, we're dressing you.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a thing. I wonder if her cousin is going to be coming back or if he was just a one-off to show. Maybe Leia's got the force.
Antoine Allen said something too. She's a great actor. She can't be 10 though. I think they went younger to keep a young Leia. Thank you. Because I was like, okay, this is 10 years after that. So that means they're 10. And I was looking at Leia. I was like, maybe she's just short.
Yeah, Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher are not tall. Harrison Ford was tall.
This kid looked like she might be 7, 6.
No, I mean,
she's little, man. That girl was teeny.
They established 10 years after Obi-Wan.
No, I'm talking about the actress's age.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm saying the character's
like she's miniature. Right? She still has the waddle thing when she runs. She hasn't really got that, I was just like, she's really little. Like, but if you say she's 10,
in all fairness, Ezra Miller is not 10, although he acts like it, but he still has the waddle thing when he runs too.
Ezra Miller has like audio or tapes of somebody with damning evidence, because there's no way he's not fired from this role. If this was a brother, they would have fired him a long time ago, talking about code of conduct violations, and they would have moved on. But somehow, he got to be somebody's brother, son, cousin. He got to be, nephew. He got to be somebody special. Somebody needs to start tracing his line, or check his payment history. Somebody, he got money. All right, he got somebody over a barrel at WB. I'm like, how long this movie been going? I'm like, fire this dude and let's move on. I mean, at the very least, fire him, pull the dude from the TV show, and let's wrap up this movie. This movie been hanging by a thread because of you. Now, at first, we went through like 3 directors, understood. But now, dude, he go out of jail, get back into jail, always beating up people, smacking up folks. He ain't smacked the right one now. Let me tell you this. Because if he came down to LA and smacked your boy, they'd be like, we have to recast. Why? Because he got folded up. NERDSoul folded him up. He was like, hold up, bro. Look, I'm chilling. NERDSoul gave him a chance. He said, back up real loud. And that was his last warning. And when he didn't back up,
no, what Ezra Miller needs to do is get real drunk and go see Dave Chappelle on stage.
Oh, man. Because I even told my wife, I was like, if we're anywhere and you can't see me, but you hear me say, hey, back up, then it's like, it's serious. And I've told someone to stop repeatedly and they're not stopping. I'll be like, hey, back up. That's it. Now I have to, so I try not to do those things. I don't want to do it. But with all that said, final thoughts. How you feeling about the show? Final thoughts. Final thoughts.
I'm actually pretty optimistic about this. I really am. Half of me hopes that it's not a season-long story arc of get the girl home. I hope they wrap up that part. But I see some hopes for this show. I realize why it's got to be Leia, because Luke doesn't meet Ben until he's attacked by the people on until he's attacked by the Sand People.
The Sand People.
The Tuskens, yeah.
The Tuskens.
Until he's attacked by Tusken Raiders. And this is a really big one. A New Hope starts with Leia. Oh, shout outs. It was really good to see C3PO and to see another C3 unit. So C3YO, I think her name was. Mm-hmm. But it started with her going to R2 asking specifically for Obi-Wan. So it's like, let's establish a relationship between those two. Cool. I'm with that.
All right, cool. Because then that means she'll know not only from her parents, but from her own personal, experience that like this guy, he comes through. In the clutch, this dude comes through.
Exactly. I also like the fact that they showed a Jedi with 10 years and no practice is rusty.
Ooh, that was man. Cool. Ooh, that was cool. You can see he still had like the technique, but it was rust.
Yeah. And I thought also, that was neat.
If you haven't been in the gym in a while, you forget how it feels to get hit. You know what I mean? The first couple hits, like, whew, hold on, what size gloves are we wearing?
And again, this is why I have hope for the show.
Some bigger ones.
Because it wasn't just you forget how to get hit, but you forget how to hit. Because he hits somebody, he's like, oh God, my hands. It's like, oh, I can't keep doing this. I'm
a little too old.
Yeah.
See, that's why he got to start using his old man moves.
For a while.
Gotta use his old man moves. He gotta lean on you a little bit. Use that elbow. You know what I'm saying? Use that elbow.
Rope punching. Stomping on toes.
Because at least in basketball terms, whenever you play an old man, and look, I'm about to be there too. I'm gonna be doing the same thing. Lean on you, put that body weight on you, lean on you all the time. Shaq used to do that all the time, make you tired, throw that elbow a little bit. When the ref ain't looking, grab onto your jersey a little bit, hold you back.
Yeah. But I mean,
old man moves.
Fighting terms, it's like, all right, fine. Yeah, and it's like in fighting terms, you spar with an old man in the dojo and he just gonna mess up your shins.
Yeah, he gonna
kick to the shins.
He gonna tear them legs. He gonna whip them legs. If a man can't stand, he can't fight.
Or as our good boy from Luke Cage saying, yeah, you can't talk tough if you can't breathe, huh, boy?
But any other final thoughts? Any other thoughts? Of course,
I'm really looking forward to this show. I mean, I'm in, and this doesn't seem like a whole bunch of a chore to me. I don't see it being as bad as Boba Fett, though I don't see it being as good as The Mandalorian. I think it's just gonna hold its own and be a nice little Star Wars sandwich, just like not
a nice little Star Wars sandwich.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got like the premium, the prime steaks that the movies are supposed to be, and then you got, and then you got that old Food for Less brand that you get from the bad shows. You get a couple of candy bars from things like Rebels and Clone Wars. And what was that other one? The other kids animated show?
There's Rebels, Clone Wars, there's Bad Batch, there's Resistance, there's
I was thinking Resistance.
Okay.
So, and exactly. Antoine Allen said it right. Those are like the candy and all that stuff. It's like a slider, it's like a sandwich, just a little burger. Not a bad burger. It ain't dry so far. All right. So there's a little meat there. There's potential. It's like, all right, this is a new restaurant. Gotta get used to being there. See how they do it. It don't have to be in and out. It could be Tams or Fantastic. But this is something I can see craving a little bit in the future. You know what I mean? This is
okay.
It ain't bad. It'll fill the void. And yeah, this seems all right. So yeah, I mean, this is if this were a poker hand, it'd be the 3 of a kind. You've got your pair. There's just on the turn, it makes a 3 of a kind. So you stay in. You stay in just in case. So yeah, that's what you're sitting on. So I'm in. I might not win the hand, but I'm not gonna fold.
Understood.
Not gonna fold. Yeah.
All right. So where can the wonderful people find you?
Well, I was going to say, if you want to understand these card playing and game analogies, you can come down to twitch.tv/BID_P Monday through Friday at 3:00. And we talk about games and nerd stuff and the way that these things can affect your life and how to be better at them. how to look at things more cinematically, how to work on storytelling, along with 3D printing and miniature painting and all that fun stuff. So that's where y'all can find me. That's what I gotta say.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Now, since we're wrapping this up, I am going to wrap it up with a poll real quick. Are you feeling Obi-Wan? Yes or no? I just want to know yes or no. See if y'all going to stick with us. And my final thoughts. I hope we wrap up the Leia next episode. Get her home. Get her safe. You know, yo, bail, peace, much love. I'm out, kid. You know what I'm saying? I got your back, but don't call me no more. I did. So, boom, you jet, but now, you know what I'm saying, you got a target on your back. Like Kevin Hart, you got a target on your back. So, nobody.
That's not fair. She's going to be taller than Kevin Hart.
Oh.
Almost is now.
Now, last 3 episodes you on the run. I'd like to see Vader show up. I know I'm not going to get this, but I'm going to go on and put it out there anyway. I would like for Obi-Wan to be in some serious-ish, all right? And it's like maybe like 3-4 Inquisitors. He's on his own. And then you hear another lightsaber ignite. And he turns around.
And sees Ahsoka.
He sees Mace Windu. Oh, yeah. Mace Mother Windu with a metal arm. Then I'd be like, yeah. I'd be like, yeah, we did it. We did it, baby. We here. You know what I'm saying? We here, baby. Double R. You know? Rest in peace, DMX. But I'd love to see that. I ain't gonna get that. I know I ain't gonna get that. I don't know why, but it would be sweet though. It would be sweet. You know what I'm saying? He's getting chased, his back's against the wall, and then somebody lights a lightsaber on the other side of him, and they gotta turn around. It's like they're creeping through the fog. It's like, who is it? Boom! It's weird. But you know, hey, I understand. I know. And, you know, Emperor can come back when he's show enough super dead, but somehow Mace Windu, just whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that Haja is going to be a recurring character. I think he's going to be like the Han Solo to Obi-Wan's Luke, you know?
Okay. He definitely held him down. I'm surprised he didn't die, but I guess she was just more annoyed than just like, man, get out of my way. I got things to do. Like, cause I was like, oh, she's going to kill him. And then when she didn't, I was like, yeah. Oh, okay.
I am a Jedi and I am here. Okay.
Antoine Allen said, Mace gonna show up and say, don't you tell me no lies. Oh man. Star Wars fans would be mad. Who would be mad? I wouldn't be mad.
Honestly, I think that would be a really hilarious moment because it's like, Master Windu, but how can you be here? At first, I thought Anakin was dead. Yeah, I know he's dead, and I hope he burns in hell.
It's like, no, I'm not dead. I just got thrown from a window. Remember, y'all jumped out the window. Y'all was fine. Be like, oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, true that. Remember, y'all jumped from the window. Everything was all good. I mean, yeah, it hurt. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, the wound was cauterized basically because you know it's a lightsaber. So I mean, I just had to catch it. You know,
you think I'm the first Mother Jedi that's got a lamb cut off with a lightsaber?
Like, come on now,
dude. In the interim, we just go to the 99-cent store, get a new hand, man.
Keith Jones said, of course, there's certain Star Wars fans, you know, the racist ones that always, they probably mad about Reva. They're probably mad about her. Well, you know what? She did too much walking or something. I don't know. There's always some stupid hyper. I mean, they got mad at Lord of the Rings, and I was like, I thought it looked pretty cool. I mean, I'm not a Lord of the Rings fan, but it looked like a cool trailer. And then I was like, hold up, people mad? Oh, they're mad because somebody black. Of course. I mean,
yeah,
of course.
Yeah. I mean, and that's we're gonna get the whole. This doesn't live up to George Lucas's vision. I'm like, George Lucas had one vision. Yeah, we all know his vision. I need to get rich. How do I do it? And he did that. Look, if that
Oh,
wasn't the
they
case,
are
you
mad
would-
about Reva. Wow, they mad. Well, I guess yeah. It only took a day. I mean, why not?
Yeah, and I mean, it's those people. They just gonna get mad all the time. It's like, oh my god, I see
know.
somebody on screen whose skin is darker than mine. Arr!
Oh no, black people. They're supposed to be a permanent underclass. How do they get on the screen?
Yeah,
That's a whole nother show, guys. A whole nother day. Look, I say peace. I thank y'all for rolling through. Of course, you know what I'm saying. It's always great to talk Star Wars with everybody. When I say everybody, I mean everybody in the chat. I don't know all y'all names, but you know, Jenna James, Antoine Allen, Keithan Jones, Chasen
Castro. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Jeremy, and anyone else. If y'all were lurking,
He's like, I want my sandwich, Pop. I want my sandwich.
not yet. Anyway, look, we got Black Comics, Dope Beats. Keithan, I know you got some comic stuff that you can send me. I'm gonna make some more other stuff, put it to some Dope Beats.
The red party?
But gotta keep down the low. Gotta keep down the low. That's the secret. All right, it's secret for the future. All right, so look, much love to all y'all. Follow Solar, Twitch, follow, subscribe, all that stuff. The link is down below. Also, of course, like, share, do all that stuff. If you don't do it, well, I mean, I get it, but I mean, you know, why not do it?
Send Reva in there to yell
Help a
at
brother
you.
out. You know what I'm saying? You see YouTube trying to hold me down. You know what I'm saying? Yo, hold me down. But anyway, we out. You ready to tell them bye?
Bye.
Tell them peace.
Peace.
So I love all y'all.
Love all y'all.
All right, you ready to go?
Oh, no, not yet. And
all right, go.
You got to know.
All right, y'all. Peace out.
Dwelling in the past, you will remain in the past. Can I get a fucking yeah?
made prior to your departure, in which for security reasons of the highest importance has been known on board during the mission. Now that you are in Jupiter's space, and the entire crew is revived, it can be told. 18 months ago, the first evidence of intelligent life off the Earth was discovered. It was buried 40 feet below the lunar surface, near the crater Patron. Except for a single, very powerful radio emission aimed at Jupiter, the 4-million-year-old black monolith has remained completely inert. Its origin and purpose still a total mystery.
Finish him off! If you can't do it, then maybe you should let someone who can, like me.
the man, yes, sir, they killed the bear barehanded so the people won't forget it. Getting money for I was legal to drink. I care what a broke nigga think.
Just like the pack of Lewiz.
Look, everything I do so cold. I can do this, both eyes closed. Too sharp, I stay on my toes. About that guap boy, anything goes. Help the bear if we outside. Help the bear if we outside. Still tipping, baby, nothing changed. I'm still grinding over here, yeah. Still sliding through my own lane. Shorty, nothing funny over here. Dallas rain everywhere around me. Dream to get money. Made it through the storm, living sunny. Dreams came true, now we eating. I got more dreams to chase, gotta reach them. Trying to put a team together like the Hunger Games. Everybody grind together, we all came from hunger.